but I didn't think I would hate it this much. One of my favorite female main characters of the year, that is not. It's really not Bella. I'm sorry. This book felt like a personal attack. Hi guys, and welcome back. So it is time for the annual videos to start. This one specifically for the end of year book tag. I think this is third year I've done this, maybe? Yeah, so this is the third year that I have done this tag, which is kind of crazy. Which is honestly kind of crazy that I've been posting consistently on here for 3 years now. Crazy. Let's just hop right in. I will have the questions probably time-stamped and then also in the description if you want to answer this on your own. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment, make your own video, literally whatever you want. So these are, I think, just the same questions in last year's video. I do remember that. Starting off strong with most disappointing book of the year. Honestly, when I was looking through all of the books that I've read this year and I saw both of these, I was like, there is no way I read that this year. It feels like 2023 even. But these were both at the start of the year, maybe even both in January. So the first one I said was Zodiac Academy, and going into this I knew I would either love or hate it, but honestly I kind of was expecting to love it because I feel like on TikTok when I've seen like recommendation videos of people's favorite books, this is always in there and it's always with some of my favorite books too, so I just kind of thought I would love it. But there was also a part of me that thought I could hate it, but I didn't think I would hate it this much. It's about two twins. I did not know who was who the entire book. Like, it starts off in a prologue in a different setting, and then they get to Zodiac Academy, and I had no clue which one was which the entire time. I absolutely honestly hated this book. I did not like the guys in it at all and how just terrible they were, and I'm so confused on how people like this, and I'm also confused on how it like gets better. Definitely a very disappointing read because honestly I'm just disappointed in myself for wasting my time with it. And then the next one might be a little controversial, but I did say Onyx Storm. I did go to the midnight release party for this, which was a blast, which that was probably the highlight of everything surrounding this book, was that midnight release party, which again, I don't understand how that was this year. It feels like it was last year. I am such a fourth wing ride or die. I mean, hang on. Literally, I have a tattoo that's for dragons in books. But this one actually fell so flat, and looking back on this, I remember not much at all about this. I feel like literally nothing happened in this. We went on a mission, nothing came about it. This was like 500 plus pages of literally no development of the plot. We literally just circled around and ended literally almost in the exact same spot as Iron Flame ended. That pissed me off. This book took me so long to get through, I feel like, and I just had no motivation to get through it. So I just really hope that she takes some more time with the fourth book and like puts her all into it and just gives us the ending we deserve, because this is seriously one of my favorite series I've ever read, but this book was not there. So I was very disappointed because usually first book in a fantasy series is kind of the intro. Second book could be also a little mundane, but like third, fourth, fifth, whatever, that's when shit goes down, and shit did not go down. Very disappointed in this one, especially because I stayed up until midnight that night, and I don't do that ever. But I did have a great time at the midnight release party, so like I said, that is the one positive that came out of this book that did not disappoint me. What was an underdog book? For this one I said The Bright Years. I can't even remember the author's name. I had heard absolutely nothing about this, and I really didn't know like what the plot was, but this was such a good book. It was just like the perfect literary fiction book because it was so short and so character driven, and that is what I love in a story, a character-driven book where I can really connect to the characters, and it felt so real, like they just literally took someone's life and made it this book. And I think it was an underdog because it kind of honestly came out of nowhere, and it was very close to a 5-star for me. I also cried, and if I cry at a book, it's a good book. It takes a lot for me to cry at a book, and usually that being that I care so deeply about the characters. And this one I really did. Definitely an underdog. I feel like not a lot of people have heard about it. I mean, maybe now that some more people are reading it, but yeah. What was an overhyped book you read? For this one I did say Twilight because this is the definition of a hyped up book. This book has an ungodly amount of hype, and the fandom for this is so intense, I feel like. And then when I read this as an adult, a 22-year-old adult, I was like, this is like cringy. I honestly had no clue that this was like what everyone was talking about. I'm like, everyone's talking about this? I was kind of shocked. But if I would have read it like 10-ish years ago, I would have absolutely ate it up. But I feel like now as an adult it's a little bit like, ooh, little cringy there, but I still had such a fun time reading this, and I am so excited to continue the series, especially today. It has been like super like rainy, misty, foggy for the last like 4 days, so I was just out and I was like, oh my god, I need to read the second Twilight. Just the vibes are so here. So I'm excited to continue this. If you did not see, I did a full spoiler reading for the first time ever reading vlog, so you should go watch that if you have read this. Very overhyped, but not necessarily in a bad way. I feel like it is definitely deserved, but this is just one of those books that has an insane amount of hype. I didn't really see all of it because I'm still new to the series, and also I am reading it for the first time as an adult, whereas if I was a teenager, probably would have ate it up. A book that surprised me, I'm gonna go with Assistant to the Villain for this one, because I have had this book for 3 years, I think. When it came out, I got it right when it came out because it was the Barnes pick. You guys, I am beyond obsessed with this series now. I read it kind of at the perfect time too, so I am glad I waited, but also like I could have been so deep in love with this book for so long if I would have read it when I first got it. But yeah, I was definitely surprised by this because I kind of just thought it would be like a fun palate cleanser, funny, like cozy fantasy. But no, like there's actually so much going on in this world, and it is so actually deep and developed, and I love these characters so much, and I'm so connected to them. And I really wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting to forget about this book and move on, but that is the complete opposite of what happened. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised with this book, and you will see this series come up more in these questions, which is very telling. I actually can't believe it, honestly. And then my favorite book couples of the year, I have to go with Xavier and Samantha from Abby Jimenez's Say You'll Remember Me from this year. This book felt like a personal attack. It really did. It was very touching and very hard-hitting. I feel like it was so real and so different from any other romance book I've read because it is long distance, and this really shows if he wanted to, he would. If you care about someone, you're gonna find a way to make it work, no matter what, no matter the distance, no matter literally everything. And that is why I love this couple so much. Both of them, they made sacrifices and they ended up together because they had so much love for each other. This is just one of my favorite books of the year for sure, because I love the way they met. I love everything about Abby Jimenez's books, how they're funny, they're deep, you will cry. She always has something else going on other than just the romance, and I did love both of our main characters equally. Like I feel like this is one where sometimes I'll like the main girl better, sometimes I'll like the main guy better, but this, I love them both so much. Samantha, such a strong person, everything she goes through really hit home for me. And Xavier, I never know how to say his name, it confuses me, the spelling. Xavier, I don't know. I loved him so much because also, one, he's a hot vet, he likes animals. I mean, what can I say? But also he was so caring, and just the way he shows his love after everything that has happened in his life is beautiful. Definitely one of my favorite couples ever, not just from this year, ever. I love this book so much. I can't wait to reread it. And then again, back to the last question, very surprising. I was not expecting this at all. Evie and the villain. Evie and the villain, everybody. Their dynamic, their banter, absolutely hilarious. I am completely smiling from page 1 to the end of these books, and when I'm not, I'm stressed to the max trying to figure out what's going on. This is definitely one of my favorite couples of the year. Again, I love both of the characters equally. Evie is so bubbly and positive and just fun to be around, and the villain, he's like dark and like a villain, and like he'll make jokes about cutting people's heads off and whatever, but underneath they know each other so well, and he is actually like an old softie who sleeps with a million pillows on his bed. I love them so much. I can just picture everything about these books beautifully, and their relationship, I love it so much. Like he's just so protective of her, and Evie's also just such a powerhouse and won't like give in to his shit. Like she will be her own boss, do her own thing, even if he's like, no, don't do that. And I love that so much. I love these characters so much. And then we're gonna circle right back around to that in a second. We have your favorite main characters of the year. I had to choose one of my favorite book boyfriends of the year, and that would be Theo Silva in Reckless. Yes, he's a cowboy. Yes, I just have a thing for cowboys, but also the way he acts, the way he shows up in this book for his family and his friends is absolutely beautiful, and the way he handles the situation in this book, absolutely beautiful, absolutely perfection. And honestly, I started off at the start of this book, something happens, there's like a huge miscommunication, whatever, and I did not think he would have been able to be redeemed for me, but he was more than redeemed. One of my favorite female main characters of the year, that is not it's really not Bella. I'm sorry. Evie from the Assistant to the Villain series. Again, she is so positive. She has so many beautiful quotes, and she is also just very relatable in the sense that she kind of puts other people before herself a lot of times. She's just such a strong character though, and I love her so much. I love her sense of humor. I love her just wittiness, and I really have liked seeing her character development throughout this series as she has been the assistant to the villain. I cannot wait to read the rest of the series and see her grow even more. And then we have favorite author that I discovered this year, which I didn't technically discover this first one. Like, I've known about her, but I just haven't read any of her books until this year, and that would be Ellen Hilderbrand, which is kind of crazy because she's been around, she's been established, and I've been just not reading her books. But this is the first year I did, and I absolutely loved them. I just love the way she tells a story throughout multiple different characters, and you can get a glimpse into all of their lives and all of their perspectives on what's going on. And throughout both these books, they both started as, I do not know who's who, I don't know what's going on, I'm so confused, but then I got deeper into the story and I understood it so well, which I feel like that's sometimes with every book, you just kind of have to push through until you understand it. And yeah, I love the way she writes, I love her storytelling, and I love her stories how they're like general fiction, like mystery, but there's also so many subplots of romance going on. I love it. So if you have read some Ellen Hilderbrand's books, please let me know more. These are just the two I've read. I think out of these two, maybe The Academy is my favorite, honestly. There was so much going on in this book, and I cannot wait for the second one. It was so fascinating to follow every single different character, and I feel like this was very different from the classic like school book, and I really liked that because sometimes like with YA school books or whatever, it can be kind of unrelatable because I'm not in school anymore. But this, you got the faculty perspective. It didn't show much of their in class or like just like stupid drama. It more dove deeper in the character's background and like things that were going on outside of classes, you know? So I really liked that. I loved both of these so much. This one was also super fun. I do need to finish the show. I just love this type of book, like a, not like a thriller scary mystery, but like a mystery like this where it's like a whodunit, twist and turns drama. I love that. The other one I wanted to mention was Charlotte McConaughey, Wild Dark Shore, because this was her debut book, and if this was her debut, I'm gonna be buying everything else she comes out with. I discovered this like everyone else through Haley Pham's Book of the Month video, so really shout out to Book of the Month for discovering her. This is kind of similar to Ellen Hilderbrand in the sense that you're following so many different characters and there's so much going on. It's kind of slowly unraveled throughout the story. Maybe I just love books like that, so again, if you have any recs, let me know. I just love like a mystery but not like a scary one. An author that did not work out for me this year, I said Betty Corello, and this was 32 Days in May. This was my first book by this author. I do know she has another one, and the cover looks absolutely beautiful, which is the same with this book. The cover got me, the premise got me, and I DNF'd this book. I just did not enjoy it. I started off really not clicking with the writing, just the way the prologue was set up. I really didn't like it. It was kind of weird. I can't remember, but it was just like one sentence of information and then it jumped again, and then it jumped to a paragraph of information, then like a different paragraph of information, and it was just kind of weird. I did also DNF this because I just did not care about the characters and kind of, I didn't really like the way they were falling into their relationship. It wasn't, you know, something I could relate to or something I really cared about. So I did DNF this, and it's honestly really sad because the cover is beautiful. Zeus needs help finding his ball. Please hold. Ball has been found. Come here. Come show him. Come here. Come show. Show him your ball. Is that your spiky ball? Did we just find that under the bed? So yeah, I just did not end up loving that book, and I feel like, nothing against the author obviously, but I just did not love the writing style of this really. So I would love to pick up her other book, but I don't end up thinking I will unless it's available at the library or something. Take a shot every time I mention the Assistant to the Villain series in this video. The next question is happiest book you read this year. First up, we have Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is a crazy one that this is on here because the first two books in the series I really didn't like. I did not like Flawless at all. Then I read Hopeless, and it took me literally over a year to get through. But then this was kind of the turning point in me liking the series. I just love this one, and it was so fun. It starts off, our main girl Sloane is running from her wedding, and Jasper kind of saves her and like rescues her from it and takes her away from there, and I loved that. It was sad, the situation, but it was like funny reading, and I just loved their dynamic so much. It was just so sweet and funny, and I liked watching both of their character development. But this was just such a happy book because these characters are just so well written, and I love them so much, and they went on this fun road trip. He's a hockey player, so that's immediately fun and happy. And yeah, this was just a book that really made me smile, and I just remember finishing this and really loving it so much, and I just had a smile on my face the entire time I was reading it. So there you go. I'm gonna talk about these books again because I am so obsessed right now. These are definitely some of the happiest books I read this year. I was smiling and laughing from beginning to the end, except for when some plot stuff was going down and I was stressed. But other than that, throughout this book, there's so many good quotes. There's so many like funny banter moments that I genuinely have to audibly gasp at and like laugh at because they're so good. There's also the frog Kingsley in this. He just has these little signs, so he always just adds to the humor because when they're like fighting or whatever, he'll hold up a sign and it's like trouble or something like that. So it's just so funny. What is the saddest book you read this year? Yeah. This was a reread from like 10 years ago, so if you want to watch me cry for literally like 40 minutes, there's not 40 minutes of footage in there, but I cut it down. Don't worry. Go watch my Harry Potter reading vlog because this was the most, I think I've cried period this entire year. This book. Oh my god. It was ugly. It was ugly. I still haven't recovered, honestly. I wouldn't change anything. It was such a beautiful time, my reread. It was absolutely heartbreaking, and I still want to book a tattoo appointment for a scene at the end, if you probably know what I'm talking about, always. And especially after doing a fresh reread, it was fresh in my mind. What was revealed hit so much harder because it was fresh in my mind, like I've said a million times. Everything that led up to this and like the little hints, the little Easter eggs, and it just hurt so bad. I don't know if I can talk about it anymore, honestly. I really don't. I haven't cried this much in a long time. Maybe it's because I suppress my emotions, but I mean, this was terrible. I need to actually stop thinking about it or I'm gonna cry again. Another book that I still have not recovered from, and it has been 6 years. It was definitely one of the saddest in the content sense, but it was also frustrating, sickening, infuriating, all of the things, just disgusting what happened in this book, and that would be Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. I finished this book in July, June. It still haunts me. Do not read this, just like period, maybe, honestly. If you want a traumatizing book, I actually don't know how to put it in words. It is in a reading vlog, I think. I still have like no rating for this book and I still can't like form thoughts because just I have never read anything like this, and I honestly kind of hope I won't have to again. I mean, I'm gonna read the next book when it comes out, but I don't think I cried necessarily, but just reading this, it put me in such like a dark mood after reading it because the contents are so sad and miserable and terrible, and you just feel so sad and mad for the characters in this book. This is one of those books that like, it wasn't sad. I cried a lot because you love the characters so much in this and you want the best for them. So when stuff happens that either is sad or also is good, it's just beautiful. This was more like a beautiful, like a good sad and like a good happy cry, but there were some moments in this that were sad and like you wanted better for the characters, but how it ended was still beautiful. If you want to cry but not necessarily be sad, here you go. I loved this book. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. And then we have the most frustrating book of the year. The first one I said was Unnatural by Mia Sheridan. The first book, Unwanted, I did end up giving 5 stars by her because the mystery and the plot aspect of it were crazy. Absolutely crazy. I did also like the romance, but this book, Unnatural, the sequel to it, this one got a lot more heavy and a lot more dark and twisted. I didn't really like it. I also did not like the romance. Something about it just felt like off to me. This one was kind of weird and also frustrating because the first one was literally 5 star and this was like a 2 star maybe. So definitely frustrated by this one, but I mean, what can you do? You know, I just have some positive experiences with the first book and the second book fell flat, and that's okay. And then I also said Good Spirits because I just DNF'd this book. I'm kind of frustrated with it, but it's also just kind of everything going on in life right now. I'm just like frustrated that I couldn't get into this. I really loved Love Light Farms. It was like a 5 star, honestly. I loved it. So going into this, I was so excited because it also kind of gave Ashley Poston in the sense that he's like the ghost of Christmas Past. So I was so excited, but I just could not get into this. It was weird kind of how he was a ghost. And I only got like 100 pages in, and honestly, from where I left off to where the story goes, I've heard I just don't care, and it seems like it's gonna be like too spicy and weird for me, so I think I am gonna DNF this. I probably will try it again at least like once this holiday season, but don't expect much from me, honestly. So yeah, I was just frustrated because again, I had loved another book, kind of similar vibes to this one by the same author, and I just could not get into this one. And I literally look at the cover. I can't. Actually, we'll circle back to this in a few questions as well. The best book adaptation of the year. Honestly, I don't think I watched many, if any. The only one I have watched is Regretting You, and I don't know if that qualifies as like the best. Like, it was fine. It's like nothing I really think about too often, but it was good. I enjoyed it. Honestly, one of my favorite parts is her in the song singing Role Model. Like, I have fallen so more deep in love with that song because of the movie. That's like one of the highlights. I don't know. It wasn't like the best, but I feel like it's like one of the only ones I've watched this year. But I did read Harry Potter this year, and I am starting my Harry Potter rewatch. I've just watched the first one and some snippets of the other one, but like I don't even know if that fits in this category, but I really haven't watched any. But yeah, the movie adaptations are great in this. I love especially seeing the holidays and just like the Great Hall. I love seeing it in person and like Hagrid and everything, all the characters, because that is who I picture in the books after watching the movies. But that's like the only book adaptation I can think of. My favorite covers of the year, I have two for this one, and these are just like insane. I love them. The first one being If It Makes You Happy by Julie Berry. The detail on this cover is insane. Like the little stores back here, the leaves, the dog, and even on the back, like the gazebo and the side has the people. It's just like, what? It's beautiful. And I also love just like everything about the 90s. So her outfit in it, beautiful. Literally, you guys saw Border Collie Zeus like 5 minutes ago. Border Collie Rocket. And this book was a 5-star. 5-star cover, 5-star book. This book is beautiful too. Oh my gosh, I cannot get over it. And look at the edges are beautiful. The inside is beautiful. The detail on these characters is insane. A book you haven't stopped thinking about. For traumatizing reasons, releasing 10. I'm gonna move on. But for good reasons, If It Makes You Happy, the vibes in this book are off the chart. You get 90s Halloween, 90s Christmas, a 90s small town, absolute perfection. I just keep thinking back to specifically the Christmas scene, like a 90s Christmas, and when it was around Halloween time this year, just thinking back to all the Halloween activities they did. Just the inn, it is so magical, and the way I pictured this book was absolutely beautiful. It was so descriptive in a great way. I was able to picture it so well in this town. I want to go there so bad. I want to like transport into the book. This book I haven't stopped thinking about. I love the romance too. So sweet, so pure. I sobbed at the end of this book. I keep thinking about the end of the book. I keep thinking about everything about this book. And then next question is an unpopular book that I loved. And that would be Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice. This is just one of those books that's like, it could be so cringy and so low-key kind of bad, but I freaking loved it. Honestly, I did. The vibes were so here. I think I may have just read this at like the perfect time, but I loved the vibes so much. I loved the coffee shop vibe. The little plot in this, the fall activities was so amazing. The main girl did kind of piss me off a little bit, but I still was able to get over that and really, really enjoy this book. I feel like I've just seen some negative things about it and kind of just like YA books like this. A book I thought I would love, but didn't. Again, I'm not going to go too much into this. We already talked about it. Unnatural by Mia Sheridan, since I gave the first one 5 stars. I just did not love this one. It was just kind of weird. The plot got actually very twisted, and I did not like it. And then also this title is so long. The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. I did not really enjoy this at all. It was really kind of boring, honestly, and kind of just meh, whatever. I thought I was really going to like it because I wanted like a cozy, witchy, fantasy, mystery, fiction romance book, and this just did not hit for me. I don't know why. I just didn't love the characters, and this book felt so long. I felt like I'd again seen this in a bunch of recommendation videos that had similar book taste to me, and also just the way it was described sounded really good. But yeah, I just did not care at all, really, or like it. Book with the most unique concept. Wild Dark Shore. Kind of the concept in this could happen, maybe, but I guess just seeing it done in so much detail was so interesting and so unique, because this is unlike anything I've ever read, and just everything that went down with the plot was really what was unique, and how it happened, how I guess like living on the remote island. I've never seen anything done like that before. I loved this so much, especially how Dominic was there with his kids. That was really interesting and unique, because I mean the kids didn't have to be there, you know, but they made the story so much better, and they were very smart and knowledgeable too, so that really helped the story. Books you read this year that you would reread. Honestly, a lot, but I decided to pick 3. first up we have My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I can't remember if I gave this 5 or like 4.5, but I feel like I don't think about this as much as I thought I would. So I really want to reread this and like pick up on more Easter eggs and pick up on more of the story and kind of refresh my brain about the characters, because I love Frederick Bachman's writing so much and this story was so beautiful. And I feel like after knowing everything, I feel like I could pick up on some other things towards the beginning of the book. This story was so beautiful and I would love to reread it, honestly. And then I've already talked about these, so I'll just briefly mention them. I would love to reread both of these. Throughout the story, there was a bunch of like smaller reveals, and I kind of want to go back and like start from the beginning, see if I can like notice any Easter eggs or something. And also just because I really enjoyed this. Because these are some of my favorite book characters ever for the vibes, literally everything. I feel like this is going to be one of those books I reread every fall. Goodreads reading goal, reflection, and reading goal for 2026. So I am at 79 books right now, and I did have to change my reading goal. I'm still kind of upset about it, so I don't want to talk about it yet, but I will. I was at 100. I wanted to hit 100. I've hit 100 for the last 2 years, so I was like, yeah, I can do it. I don't know what happened this year. I don't necessarily think I've been like slumping this year. I just feel like I've been busier. And another thing, the last couple of years, I've listened to a lot more audiobooks than I did this year. I just couldn't really get into them. And also this year, something that's been interesting is I normally used to listen on like 1.7 speed. I can't really even go above like 1.3 now, so again, they just take me longer now to listen to. And also I just really have been wanting to listen to music more this year, 2023 especially. I would just listen to whatever was available on Libby at the time, and although that's amazing, we love supporting the library, I feel like sometimes they would kind of slump me out or not necessarily be books that I ended up loving or like really was interested in. So this year I feel like I wanted to focus more on reading books that I would love, and I feel like I've done a decent job of that. I mean, looking at these books we've talked about, I've loved these all for different reasons, and I feel like I've kind of read some books out of my comfort zone this year, and that's what I wanted to focus on. I did change my reading goal down from 100 to 85. I am set to hit it, but I also feel like the rest of the year I definitely kind of want to focus more on writing than reading, and that's something also I've done more of this year, is focus on writing versus reading a little bit. So I want to keep doing that for the rest of the year, so that's why I did lower my reading goal. I am sad about it. 100 is just like such a good number. I just always put so much pressure on myself with literally everything to hit my goals. It's been kind of difficult, but also I know that there's something else I'm wanting to spend that time on, which is writing. I'm not too mad about it, and I think it's gonna be okay, and also I'll be able to maybe go over my goal this year, so that would be super fun and rewarding. As for my 2026 goal, maybe like 75 or 80. I definitely don't think I'll do 100 again. I have no clue where I'm gonna be in life. I honestly, there is kind of one new opportunity that's gonna be taking up a little bit more of my time every month, but I don't know, you know? I am also hoping to do this as a job in 2026 and just like remove one of my jobs from my life, hopefully. So maybe I'll have more time. I don't know. I literally don't know. But yeah, for now I'm thinking like 75, 80 books next year, because I really, again, want to focus on writing. And then books I wish I got to this year. Okay. Passion Project, ever since before it was coming out, I was so excited about it. And this has been honestly at the top of the back of my mind since it came out to read. And I just have not got to it this year. I don't have a reason. I feel like it's definitely more summery, but I could honestly still see myself reading this in the winter or whatever. It's just been one of those books that I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy because I love New York. Another one that I told myself I was gonna get to, didn't, of course, for the third or fourth year in a row, we have Truly Devious. I think I was picking my fall TBR and I saw this, I'm like, why haven't I read this? I read the back and I'm like, that sounds so good. So like maybe I'll still read it, but honestly I kind of doubt it. But hopefully I do get to this. It's like a YA mystery series at a school, I think. I don't really know, but I do want to get to this still because I did buy the trilogy when I bought this in like 2022. Oopsie! And then what will you prioritize in your 2026 reading year? I think I'm going to prioritize, again, my physical TBR. This year I've done okay. I do actually want to do like a physical TBR video soon and like count them and kind of re-shelve them on Fable, because I did that at the start of the year. I put them all in and I had like, I don't actually want to say it. It's kind of embarrassing, and I didn't like update that, so I would love to go in and delete the ones I unhauled, the ones I read, and add new books. So hopefully I'm gonna do that soon and it'll be in a video maybe. Yeah, lessening the physical TBR, not buying books unless they're like new releases or like I'm gonna read them immediately. So put down not giving into the hype, because kind of with this one I gave in with the hype and I did not like it, whereas like this one I ended up loving, and not because anyone was talking about it at the moment. I mean, people have obviously talked about this, but not really recently, and I read it kind of on my own because I wanted to, and I loved it so much. Same with this too. It was just at the Barnes Cafe. I had heard literally no opinions about it, and I ended up loving it. I did see some negative opinions after I read it, and maybe I heard a couple before, but really going in without those. So yeah, I just kind of want to really think about a book before I buy it and read it if it's something that I really could enjoy, which I mean, I guess this sounds like it, but if I would have looked into it more, I would have seen how like spicier it is. So I just want to not give into books just because they're popular and a lot of people are talking about them, but I want to actually think if I'll enjoy them. I also want to do some rereads. This is going to be something I'm going to do maybe hopefully a lot more, maybe at the end of this year into next year, since I am gonna have a lower reading goal, because throughout 2025 this year, I didn't really let myself reread books because I was behind my reading goal all year, so I was stressed about that. I'm like, no, like I need to pick books that'll move me on from that. I can't just like reread old ones, whatever. Throughout the end of this year and next year, setting like a lower reading goal will help me just read whatever the fuck I want. Literally, if I want to reread a book, you know what I mean? So I did pick some books off my shelves that I do really want to reread. First being the Prison Healer series. I absolutely love this series and I really like Lynette Nani. I have read 2 of her series, this and the Madoran Chronicles. Really enjoyed them both, especially this one because it's a trilogy and the books are decently short. Especially this one, there's lots of twists that happen, so I want to see if I can pick up on any Easter eggs, and I also just really enjoyed the characters in this one and would love to reread them. And then I read this back in 2022, I think, so it starts off the Kiss of Deception trilogy and then you read Dance of Thieves. I have read this duology twice. I have not read this again, and I remember absolutely loving this, and I feel like this type of fantasy, I haven't really been in my fantasy era lately, so I want to get back into that, and I think rereading some favorites could help. So I want to start with this series and then go back into this one because I remember loving them and loving the characters so much. I think that is all of the questions and books that I wanted to talk about today. If you have any other questions you want to tack on to this and want me to answer, let me know down below and I would love to answer them. And as a reminder, please answer these questions in the comments or whatever, because I would love to hear like your favorite books of the year and whatever. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.